Tired of home headaches, leaky faucets, cluttered garages, and DIY disasters got you down? Tune in to Around the House with Eric G., your guide to simple fixes, smart upgrades, and home hacks that save time and money. Now, subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel at Around the House HQ for tips, tricks, exclusive interviews with industry-leading experts in design and construction, all in stunning 4K. Search at Around the House HQ on YouTube and hit subscribe today. Don't miss out. Make your house a home with Around the House HQ.
From coast to coast, it's the nation's #1 home improvement radio show and podcast with certified kitchen designer Eric G. and co-host John Dudley, a former contractor and online technology expert, delivering real fixes, smart tech, and trusted advice. Remodels, repairs, energy savings, smart homes, DIY. We've got your answers. It's Around the House. Dive in and get inspired.
Welcome to the Around the House show, your trusted source for everything about your home. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Eric G. John Dudley. It seems like it's been forever since we chatted. Good to see you again, my friend.
Does seem like a long time, dude. Good to see you, brother. But you should have your brace on, and I'm going to tell your doctor.
I know. It is my last day, and I'm sitting at the office, and my arm is gently sitting on the armchair here of my chair, so I'm not doing any damage.
You can justify it however you want, but you shouldn't be doing it, and that's exactly why we get
tomorrow.
hurt.
So I got 24 hours. I'm just cheating the system just a little bit. I am 3 weeks ahead though on my PT though, so they're happy with me there. So I'll give them that.
You know what? We've been friends for decades, and I give you the same speech every time, and you never freaking listen to me, and I don't listen to you, so we're even.
Fair point, brother. Fair point. Today I thought we should have some fun talking about some common DIY disasters out there that people should avoid at all costs. Because I tell you what, if social media is good for one thing, it's good for documenting them.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how many times have you seen the one where a roofer is carrying 3-tab up on the deck, and it's a second story deck, and they stack a pallet of 3-tab by hand up on the deck.
That's pretty smart.
Pretty smart. And the dude walks up, carries up to the top of the steps. It's higher than a pallet, so it's probably got 3 or 4 bundles too much. And the guy slaps it down on top of it because he's obviously tired.
Down he goes.
And down he goes. The whole deck drops about 8 feet, pulls away from the house first, comes down, and then pushes the posts over and lands on the ground. And it's all from their security camera. And it's
wow. The magic carpet. Nice.
Yeah. Full on carpet ride. It was just like, not only is he doing a roof, he's probably got an ambulance ride because there's probably 2,500 pounds of roofing that went somewhere.
As a guy that started out at 18 years old as a hot roofer, I could go through a list of incidents and roof falls I've taken and all that stuff. But I remember one time the hot pipe, we were trying to unscrew the hot pipe from the kettle, clipped me across the eyebrow.
Ooh.
Split me wide open, man. Gushing blood everywhere. I legitimately stuck duct tape on it and said, let's get this roof on. So if he's any kind of roofer worth his salt, he'll get back up there and get to work.
That's the thing. And safety's important, but it's one of those things that you go, ooh, stuff goes sideways. And sometimes these good planning moments will save you from those disasters because, you know, no one wants to see anybody get hurt. At the same time, if you don't get hurt, who wants to have to go build a deck too on top of that once you get the roof done?
Yeah, that probably hurt more than any shingles landed on the dude.
Yeah.
Man, I just bought a deck, really?
I just bought a deck. And I didn't think it would have been a roofing contractor because most roofing contractors would have had that delivered to the rooftop. I got a feeling this was a handyman or a DIY.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
That makes sense. If nothing else, generally speaking, again, there's varied definitions of common sense, but generally speaking, a roofer knows you don't stack that kind of weight on a deck. That's
unless it's built for the hot tub and it was fully engineered for that, you're literally putting the hot tub weight up on that. So not a smart thing when you're dropping a couple 1,000 pounds of something
No, and
on
you
a
know the
wood structure
liability.
that's
As a
done.
contractor, you're like, no, we don't want to screw up the deck. And we don't want this pallet of, even just the market might leave on the deck. You don't want that.
No, and the pallets are not put together carefully. There's always a bent over nail or something on the bottom that's going to mess something up. It's never good. It's never good. Another one, man. I tell you what, here was another DIY nightmare. I'm going to take a picture of this. I'll put it up on Facebook. This I found in my house in Lake Oswego. Oh. This is a 10-2 Romex, and they added on the light circuit on the other side of the garage from it. And so to describe this, they stripped back the Romex, took 2 wires of, I don't know, it's flexible, so it looks like it's trailer wiring or something. And then if we unwrap this, which I've never done, they just stripped things back and slid it in here.
It looks very Columbia, to be honest.
It does. It looks like your shower head installations.
It totally does.
Come on, guys. If you're going to add on to a circuit, do it in a junction box, please.
Nah. Who's got time for that?
I know it, but some of the stuff, and we found
it's
that
just electricity. Funny. It's not like it can burn the house down or anything.
So here's the funny part, man, and this was awesome. We ran into this so much in the 50s beach house in the original wiring where I don't know if it was not being inspected or if it wasn't code back then, but there were so many times you could tell where they ran out of wire off the spool and just spun it, twisted it together and taped it up and put it right back in the wall. Yeah. This was not a repair. This was factory built in 1952.
What are wire nuts? What are junction boxes? What are you talking about? That's why they made electrical tape.
Yeah,
that's why they call it
electrical tape. But it was like, in its defense, it held up for 10 years.
Yep.
But still not the optimum of safety.
And actually bring up something that's important. And that's our perspective, right? Because we're always yapping about, these crazy codes are so ridiculous. And there's actually a lot of truth in that beyond what we really talk about, because you just said it. Dude, I've torn into the guts of a house built in 1890. And there's stuff that you're just like, wow, what?
Wow.
You did what? You spliced together 2x4s by notching them and putting a nail through them, and that's a roof truss? And guess what? It worked for 100 years.
You know something, Johnny? Right now would have been a great time to slide in next week's new sponsor we're bringing on the show, Red Wing Shoes. I love those guys. And you can check out what they've got over there at redwingshoes.com. But they are going to be a new sponsor we've got coming on the show next week. And right now would have been the perfect time to slide it in. But I love those guys and what they're doing. So little sneak peek for our partnership coming together next week.
Speaking of lasting for 100 years.
Right?
Yeah.
Seriously. Those guys have been around since the beginning of time. And I just love how they do stuff. That is just old school. Whether you're a lumberjack or a cowboy out there with your boots.
Or an ad guy in the 50s. They covered it all, right?
I love
point being is, plenty of people have been swearing and wearing for a lot of years with those fellas.
Yeah, and they've just got some really cool stuff. All right, they've been around since 1905. Just wanted to make sure before I misspoke. So you were closer than I am. So
yeah, 2000. Yeah. Whoosh. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So great stuff from those guys. Speaking of safety, when it comes into getting back to our absolute craziness, when we see this with projects, when in doubt with the electrical stuff, guys, just hire the electrician to come out. If you don't understand it, hire them and maybe stand back across the room and watch what they're doing and understand it a little bit better. Because that's one of those things that, you can have a problem. You could have a problem if you don't do it right.
It's super important. There's 2 things I never liked to really messing with, even after 30 years of being in the trades, man, like electrical and gas. If I had any kind of question or doubt, because I knew it would keep me up at night, I just wouldn't do it. I'd call Sparky or I need to know that stuff is done right. And that's a guy that had been building houses for 30 years.
Absolutely.
I knew where not to mess around. And those are 2 places right there.
You know, we're going to have to go, Johnny, but that is
at the very least, watch a YouTube video from a real electrician.
Yeah. You were using the book at a Home Depot before so that's the thing. You know, John, that is one issue that I see out there that people need to consider. So always consult your local building code to make sure you're tackling that electrical project correctly. I think there is some significant danger on, being in Canada, watching the US or vice versa, because electrical code can really differ even from state to state and how you're doing it, even though generally speaking, it's the same across the U.S. But we're seeing so many changes now in electrical code, just like kitchen islands where you don't put the outlet in the side anymore. Those kind of things that we're starting to see, and we're seeing those outlets put on the top. So there's a lot of issues that we need to be careful with, because it could be 5 years old at that YouTube video you're watching, and then you're getting yourself in trouble. So always consult a professional and make sure that you're doing what's right for your area. That way you're safe and you're not kind of commingling different codes, because that could lead to problems and worse off, even a fire. All right, when we come back, we got more DIY disasters. We'll talk about that just as soon as Around the House returns. Don't go anywhere.
Hey everyone, this is Jim, producer of the Around the House Show podcast. If you're listening right now, you already know we bring you the best tips, tricks, and expert advice to fix, upgrade, and maintain everything in your home without the headaches or the huge bills. But if you're catching us on the radio or borrowing a friend's phone, you're missing out on new episodes dropping straight to your device every week. So do yourself a favor, hit pause for just a second, grab your phone, and subscribe to Around the House Show on your favorite podcast player. Whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, or wherever you listen. It's completely free, and you'll never miss an episode again. Thanks for supporting the show. Now let's get back to making your house work for you.
Quick question. How long does it take you to put together a contractor estimate? If it's more than 5 minutes, you're probably losing jobs to whoever gets there first. We built Instabid after losing a $13,000 job because my quote was too slow. Now I generate a professional PDF estimate, real Home Depot pricing, real labor costs for your zip code in under 5 minutes. Painters, roofers, all the trades. Try it free at instabid.pro. Use code ATH50 for 50% off your first month. That's instabid.pro, code ATH50.
Welcome back to the Around the House Show, your trusted source for everything about your home. Johnny and I have been sitting here talking about those DIY disasters, and I think the smartest thing you can do, brother, out there is plan ahead, right? I mean, whatever the project is, just planning ahead and coming up with a game plan, just like you would for if you were a football coach or whatever. Just come up with the game plan so you know what you're heading, so you can get things in order and do them the right way. Because so many times I see people, and you do too, all right, I'm going to do my kitchen remodel, and they knock it out. Then they realize that they're going to do the bathroom model next, but half the stuff that they're replumbing and rewiring from the bathroom had to go through the kitchen. So now they're ripping up walls again. And you just got to think ahead of the entire project and put it into consumable bites.
Well, and again, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it firmly now because we've talked about it more than a few times on the show. There is no excuse for not planning and not knowing what you're getting into, because that's how you get in trouble. Dude, spend the 2 minutes, go ask Grok, go ask ChatGPT, hey, what should I be thinking about? What are priorities? What are important to note? What should I consider for future planning? Ask 5 solid questions about what you're thinking about doing, and you will get in 30 seconds, like more than you want to read about how to pull it off successfully and execute without going, oh, I didn't think about that, and costing yourself money or an extra week or double work. Just, dude, we have AI, we've got YouTube, it's so information out there.
Here, Johnny, we can just go back into the 2,000 episodes on the podcast player. I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah, so no excuses. No excuses. If you get mud on your face,
that's your mud.
You get zero sympathy from me at this point. Like, sorry.
Talking about planning, I want to talk to you about this one, brother. I've been watching all the news, and this is not a political discussion here by any means, but there's the Obama Presidential Center that's being built in Chicago. And I'm a little bit more of a classic architecture person. I go with the Frank Lloyd Wright. That building should fit in its environment. And I'm going to say the presidential center there, that obelisk or whatever you want to call it, definitely is a bold statement. And I'm going to say that as nice as I can.
I will back you on placement and scale according to its environment. Fair enough.
Putting a skyscraper in the middle of a neighborhood and park.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But I will say that I like the design. I thought it looked pretty damn cool. But yeah, is it compensatory? Maybe. I don't know. Like,
man, so it's over there by the University of Chicago, and all you guys over there, I get it. And it's opening up on Juneteenth, so it's not open yet. But I tell you what, I don't know. It looks like something out of a 1990s Sylvester Stallone space movie.
Which is probably why I like the design itself.
See, there we go.
I'm like, that's actually cool looking. But like,
man, I don't know. It just reminds me
like
of the
in
90s
No Man's Land
movies. And there's a lot of buildings that I like that people go, what? How do you like that?
Yeah,
I like some of the brutalist architecture out there. I love all of it. This thing just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. And I guess the other thing that's weird to me, and I get it in one hand, but it's not really a presidential library. They're not calling it a library because there's no books in it. Everything's
right
digital.
now. Yeah.
So I get that it was probably a lot of emails and things like that in the day, but usually libraries are places. This is 100% digital place. And it's, kind of like the old book theory.
I was just going to say that actually, I hadn't really thought about that. But that's happening so much now. And look at all the incredible libraries in history we've lost, whether it was in Rome or whatever. But I still like that. Like, I still want to see documents. I still want to see. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Was a power surge going to take out the entire library?
I mean, 10,000 thinks
lost
it
a hard
could.
drive.
Yeah.
Servers down.
Yeah, it's a bummer to see that piece of. Really, books are art, man. It's sad to see so much of that go away. And
I still can't sit there and read on like a Kindle or one of those things yet. I still want to have that. If I'm going to read, and I don't take the time like I used to, but if I'm going to take the time and read a book, I want to feel it and go through it. And
I totally do. That's coming from a guy that owns 3,000 vinyl records. So that's, my take on that stuff. Yeah. I want to look at the record sleeve.
I got a huge digital collection, but I can't tell you the last time I played anything off of it. Everything is on vinyl that I want to listen to.
Yeah. Anyway, back to the
story here. But anyway, that one just came up in the news today, and I saw it, and I was like, wow, they got more built on it. And I'm still not any more of a fan.
Well, I feel it's important just to point out to our audience just one small thing about your taste. When I mentioned how I liked the lettering, difficult to read through. Sure, it's squirrely, but I like that piece of the design. And you brought up, I would have liked it neon.
I would have liked it neon.
I'm just saying, we're qualifying tastes here. So the people know, Eric.
I think, though, you could have went through, and the art of it would have been the neon, would have been up there in white, and the words would have gone at President Obama's pace of reading it.
Okay.
And each word would have lit up at his kind of that stagger stutter pace that he has. He's got his
I like that idea, but I do want to say now you're talking about neon from the guy that was just talking about, I wish there were books in this digital place.
I'd rather have neon over LED every day. That's the old school.
Dude, I'm totally heckle fishing.
I know you are. But anyway, back to our list here. One of the other things, too, I want to bring up here before we go out to break again. Just because you can buy it in the home centers does not mean that you can actually use it in your house. There are so many things in a home center that you can buy that don't meet building code.
Good point.
Think of it now. In my area and most places in the U.S., you actually have to duct a range hood outside, completely outside.
You're right.
Do they still sell what I call the forehead dusters that blow it right off in your face and do nothing but just mix it up? Yeah, they do. I don't know why. I wish they would get rid of them. Yeah. And same with the flexible plumbing drain pipes with the corrugated flex in them.
Don't get me started.
The ones that you can, how can you say you're not a plumber without saying you're a plumber when you have that in your cart? Right?
Not that I haven't used them.
No, I will not. I'll leave with $100 for the plastic fittings and then bring half of them back before I get the flex one out.
Ah, man. If I got to get a half inch.
I start over. I'll cut it out and do it over again.
You get all bendy spelling S's with it. I'm not bagging you on that. But for a quarter inch, half inch move, live with it.
No.
I do it.
Then you get the inspector that sticks their head under there and goes, Johnny.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I give him a bottle of whiskey and talk about fishing. And he goes, yep, all good here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So another one that I've got here too, we'll talk about when we come back. And we're going to talk about this one. It's what you use to patch up your forehead that we talked about in the last segment. Duct tape as soon as Around the House returns. Don't go anywhere.
If you are a podcast listener, make sure you catch the 1900 back episodes in our catalog on your favorite podcast player. Now let's let John and Eric play you out with stories from their band, Dudley. Around the House will be right back.
If I could dream. Is your website losing you money instead of making it? Slow load times, outdated design, or a clunky mobile experience could be driving those customers away. At SiteHypeDesigns.com, we turn bad websites into high-performing, customer-winning machines. Our expert designers create sleek, fast, and SEO-optimized sites that don't just look good, they convert visitors into paying customers. Don't let a weak website hold you back. Visit SiteHypeDesigns.com today for a free website audit and discover how we can take your business to the next level. SiteHypeDesigns.com. Websites that work as hard as you do.
For our Around the House listeners, use promo code ERICG for a free website audit and a free half-hour consultation call.
Hey everyone, it's Eric G from Around the House. I'm teaming up with Cam Anderson, the epoxy live edge master from Blacktail Studio, for his biggest project yet, a full home remodeling on his stunning Blacktail Ranch. We're talking about this charming but dated farmhouse, from lead paint chic to a modern functional dream home. Structural fixes, smart layouts, custom woodworking flair, real budgets, hiccups, pro tips, all documented step by step. If you're a Blacktail fan or love epic renovations, this is your series. Head to my YouTube channel right now, search Around the House Eric G, subscribe, and check out the Blacktail Ranch playlist. Cam's intro video is live, and a fresh episode will be dropping very soon. Don't miss this transformation and subscribe today. To the Around the House show, your trusted source for everything about your home. Thanks for joining us. We've been talking about those DIY fails. And Johnny, this last week actually, I saw a contractor fail that was pretty much bigger than many of the homeowner fails that I've seen out there. So
it happens. I've seen them.
Yeah, this was a bad one. And this is about knowing the materials that you're working with. In Southeast Portland, here in my area, a Trader Joe's store had to close because somebody decided to go in there, peel up some flooring, it appears, and decided to do some grinding on the black tar mastic that was holding that tile flooring down. And guess what? They had black dust all over the store, and the black dust, after they brought it up to the Department of, or the DEQ here, our environmental quality guys, they tested it and went, yeah, that's asbestos, which that black tar mastic
is full of it.
Oh,
man. How do you...
And you imagine what that cost?
And then when you told me about this, that's why I asked if it was, and not pointing fingers or anything. Anybody can make a silly mistake, but that sounds, I'm 22, I'm starting a contract company, and I'm maybe not old enough. And it's a generational thing, right? Like you and I know there's asbestos in that old black mastic.
Yeah.
If you're 22, you're like, I don't know, there's some goop under here, right?
Yeah. So if I can grind it off.
I'm just saying, honest mistake. But then I'm going to say, how did you not think to contain that when you were?
First off, if you're working in a store anywhere, we got fresh fruit, you got open stuff. Why are you not doing some dust control stuff anyway?
That's what I mean. Why is that not contained completely? Like one speck of dust. Get your wall partitions and plastic out and get busy, kid.
Yeah. So the DEQ, the store says that the store had since February 15th, but undergoing a renovation project, which included flooring work. But they said earlier an asbestos survey by the store's contractor did not turn up asbestos. But the survey did not examine all the different flooring materials.
Oh, see, no, that's not.
So my guess.
Now it's a totally honest mistake.
I don't know this situation. I don't know this situation at all. What could have happened is they could have cut that little piece of flooring out.
Yeah.
And didn't
and
left
it cleared
part of the flooring down there. Didn't have any glue on. They sent it off.
Totally honest mistake. That's fair.
That's fair.
I'm going to back off on that one. Still should have contained the dust. But I'm going to back off on the asbestos. Ouch.
And if you saw the black mastic, you should have just assumed. Should have just assumed.
They sent for testing. They did.
They didn't send it all for testing. And so that's where the error occurs.
Do you blame the tester or do you blame the guy that tried the test and it said no? I don't know.
I'll blame the guy with the grinder in his hand. They should have known better. What's your take there, Johnny?
I'm a 30-year contractor. You tell me there's not asbestos because there's some of that mastic that doesn't have asbestos.
I've never had the black stuff not test to have asbestos in it.
I've never tested the black stuff. No, I'm kidding.
You've never tested any of it. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but only on my own properties because I don't care and I just grind it. Sans respirator.
Yep. It's no worse than the cigarettes, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll leave
so
it at that.
That's my take. I just look at it and go, first off, that block dust shouldn't have been around in the store. Second of all, I think anybody running that grinder should have went, hey, let's ask a few more questions.
Right. Are we sure? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll give you a second opinion backing on that.
Okay. So anyway, here's the thing, guys.
At the same time, when you're a contractor and the test says no, you're like, cool, we just saved, right?
Yep.
And I got a better Christmas coming.
Off you go.
So that's my contractor mentality that kicks in, right? Hey, man, we ran the test and you knew as a contractor that you're going to make an extra X thousands of dollars. You're like, hey, test said no, it's a go.
So then
it's a general mentality.
Now has to probably pay for the store being closed. You're going to lose profits on a per day basis. So there's expenses there. You're now probably replacing just about everything in that store because I bet you it's cheaper to toss a product away than it is to clean it on the outside of the packaging.
I'm not saying it's not a dice roll with that kind of mentality. I'm just saying that's the general.
I want to do a $2 million dice roll.
The mentality of a contractor, right? You're like, we got the test said it's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more to this story that we'll probably see play out in court as days go on.
I was just going to say it's going to be a long fight because I didn't know there was a test when you first told me about this. So now it's a 2 years in court.
Yeah. So, it still requires abatement. And there's the problem that we run into, guys. And it's so much of that. Like here in Portland, where I'm at in the state of Oregon, great example. When I go to the dump and I've got a truck full of stuff or a trailer full of stuff to go take there, know what your rules are. Because in my area here, if I have building materials in there, I better have my asbestos survey paperwork with me.
Yeah.
Because if there is drywall with texture, if there is flooring, if there is roofing tar, if there's a bunch of different products in there, if I don't have that, they're going to tell me to go home. They're not going to let me dump it.
Yeah, they've got.
And if it's a commercial project, it doesn't matter if it was built in 2025, you still have to have that survey. So if you were if you're renovating a brand new building, they still are forcing you to have that. And the same thing is if you order a dumpster, it's the same thing here. You're seeing more and more of that out there. So that testing is getting more and more important. And like for my house, when I stripped the popcorn ceilings off my old house, I tested it. I went around and got a bunch of samples, took it in. It was clean.
Yeah.
Awesome. And the other mistake I see people make out there is asbestos was used, it still is in some building materials. So it's not really officially banned. So many people out there go, oh, 1978. No, that's lead paint.
Yeah, no, there's still plenty of things with asbestos.
Well, think about it. That doing brakes.
Huh? Yeah, I was just going to say car products especially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing brakes. Most of those brake linings are asbestos out there.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to see carbon fiber. You're seeing all these different things out there. Some are metallic. You're seeing stuff, but that's a great example is brake techs with asbestos. That's another huge one out there.
Yeah.
So that's getting interesting, but just be careful out there. Any of those products out there, slow down, take the test. The problem with that dust is though, if you're not filtering that air though, that stuff can hang around for years inside the home. So if you make a mistake and do it, you really have to go through the cleaning in that because that dust can hang around. And first time it gets disturbed again, it can be floating around for months in the air. So it's so fine and it's a mineral. It just doesn't go away.
Are you finished? Because I'm just thinking back on all the projects I did.
I know.
And I'm just dumb enough to go, I don't care.
Johnny, in fairness, there were no asbestos rules when you were doing that back in the day.
There probably was. We just didn't much care about them. And they definitely weren't what they are today, for sure.
Oh.
And you're working in the Northwest, like all those turn-of-the-century homes, there's asbestos everywhere. You're like, dude, I don't have time. I got work to do. You're in contractor mode. You're just like, no, we got to get this thing done. We got to, whether it's getting it on the market or getting the client happy or...
Dude, my first house, I took out the coal furnace. It was in the coal furnace building on the back of the house. It was this little lean-to. It was wrapped in asbestos. I wet it down. I peeled it off. I shoved it inside the burner area for that. I closed and latched the cast iron door where you'd put the coal in. And I backed my truck up against it, pushed it over in the back of my truck. It was so heavy in my quarter-ton truck that it lifted the front wheels off when it fell over. And I went, ooh, that is way heavier than I thought. And when I pulled into the steel yard, they grabbed it with the magnetic grappler thing and stuck it, lifted off and threw it in the back of a rail car and off it went. But you sure can't do that now.
No. Yeah, no. And no. I got very
stuff we just got to be careful with out there, brother. We just got to be careful.
No, it's smarter, and I'm just not that smart sometimes.
Like we said, back then it wasn't a big deal. Now it's all over the place. All over the place.
I totally take that.
I want to talk about one that is so common, and I see it all the time because we've been out looking at houses, and I see this so often that I go, oh, man, so many people get burned on this one. We'll talk about that just as soon as Around the House returns. Don't change that dial.
Hey folks, producer Jim here from the Around the House radio show, America's #1 home improvement powerhouse. I've seen Eric test thousands of gadgets over his 30-plus years as a certified kitchen designer, and he's just dropped his hand-curated top 10 picks for 2026 that'll make your home smarter, safer, and way more efficient. Rush to AroundTheHouseOnline.com, top products, now. Click the bold names for Amazon deals and snag them before they're gone. Eric G's favorites for 2026. Your house deserves this upgrade.
Quick question. How long does it take you to put together a contractor estimate? If it's more than 5 minutes, you're probably losing jobs to whoever gets there first. We built Instabid after losing a $13,000 job because my quote was too slow. Now I generate a professional PDF estimate, real Home Depot pricing, real labor costs for your zip code in under 5 minutes. Painters, roofers, all the trades. Try it free at instabid.pro. Use code ATH50 for 50% off your first month. That's instabid.pro, code ATH50.
to the Around the House Show, your trusted source for everything about your home. Thanks for joining us today. Johnny and I have been sitting here talking about, well, those mistakes that everyone seems to make out there. DIYers, even contractors can make from time to time. And we're trying to see if we can help prevent those by discussing them here today. And Johnny, one of the biggest ones that I keep running into, I see out there, is converting garage space without permits.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot in the older homes that maybe in the 50s that had like the single car garage, you know, on the front.
Yeah. Now it's a rec room or a mother-in-law or a Airbnb.
Yeah. Kids living out there, that kind of thing. And I tell you what, though, you got to pull permits on this stuff because here's the thing. Across the country, generally speaking, and I say generally speaking because there's always some place out there that's a little their own Wild West. But if you didn't pull a permit for it, it's not generally considered living space.
Yeah, it's not square footage on the sale.
Exactly. And I've run into this so many times, and we've talked about it on the show before, but let's say you've got an old nice farmhouse that when it was built in the 20s, they pulled a permit on it. Yeah, many places had permits back then. Even Portland, Oregon had permits back then. And let's say it was 700 square feet in the main living space. There was a basement that was unfinished and an attic storage space. Well, then
it's
Mr.
still 700 square feet.
Mrs. Smith come in and buy it, right? And this thing is a 2,500 square foot beauty with a finished basement and an upstairs floor. And they pay $300 or $400 a square foot or whatever that square footage price is for this property. And they go to pull their first building permit and they're like, that's storage space up there. How can you be remodeling a master bedroom suite?
Mm-hmm.
And $10 later, as you bring that up to current 2026 code, now you can start working on the remodel.
You know what I think they should do? Here's just a wild thought. Sorry to cut you off a little bit.
No, do it.
Why don't we just like grandfather it in like, hey, this got done in, XYZ year. A permit should have cost back then. Huh? Yeah. Why don't we do that? Why don't we talk about that? Come on, city.
Here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. And so I agree with that, especially something that was done 30 or 40 years ago.
That's what I mean. Retroactivate, go back to the fees. How much was it in 72 when they made the garage into a rec room?
Yeah.
Right?
No big deal.
$87, not $87,000. Like, come on.
Oh, man. And you're not wrong. And so how many times do you see that? I've seen that. We had one big problem in the city of Portland is when they did the converting to digital, they lost about 8 years worth of permits.
Oof.
So
whose fault is that?
You could have pulled a permit and you're not going to know officially if they did or not with that. Hopefully it shows up in the square footage. But here's where my problem is, though. If you're a homeowner and you're going to buy a house and the realtor listed the listing for what it is, and the bank is loaning on what they think is 2,400 square feet or 2,800 square feet, and then they find out when they go to pull a permit for a remodel project to do it right, they didn't get what their bill of goods is they sold. They bought a 2,800 square foot house.
Yeah. And that
now they got a loan on a 700 square foot house.
Yeah.
And no one looks for that. The realtor isn't looking for it.
Honestly, it should be on them. That's what I'm getting at. Right? Like
there's a big gray hole right there. The banks aren't looking for it. If I was the bank, I'd want to know what I'm buying.
That's my point. The buyer, in my opinion, that shouldn't be on the buyer, right? You're paying all those people. You are paying the realtor, the mortgage company, right? The escrow, all that stuff, the title company, all that stuff is on them. So if I got to go pull an $87,000 permit because you said it was a 2,400 square foot house and I want to redo my kitchen, guess what, man? Somebody else is liable for that. Not because I was just a happy person that bought a house that was listed as 2,400 square feet. Beauty. Yeah. That is not cool, man. That's why you pay those people to do that math.
To me, I think the double check should be probably at the escrow department. Now, I'm saying escrow department. Some people don't do that. If you buy a house like in New Jersey, there isn't all of that. Generally speaking, from what I understand, is that you actually go to a lawyer that walks you through the rest of the sale. But in many places in the country here, it's a title company, escrow company. They do all the research to make sure, the people selling it actually own it,
I mean, there's so many other ridiculous disclosure statement stuff, right? And that's not one of them. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, come on. It's a pretty simple thing.
I want to know that and how many people died in the house.
And it should show up in the title search. That's what doesn't make sense.
Well, but they're not talking to the building department, because here's the problem. A lot of times they're dealing with the tax department. And guess what? If you tell the tax man it's your county assessor or whatever, your city assessor, if you tell them, township or whatever, if you tell them you got a 4,800 square foot house, they would love to tax you for that.
Right. Yeah. Good point. Yep. Yeah. What a bunch.
So there's the issue.
I just think there's no way that the buyer should have the responsibility of having to do that research and math with all the parties involved that you're paying as a buyer. That's nonsense.
Yeah. I think that the realtor should have to look that up and call them and get the thing. And then somebody
has to disclose it. Yeah. Because if I get snagged 3 years down the road, that's coming back on somebody else, not on me.
Or title company, not escrow.
Like you said, dude, you sold me a bad bill of goods.
Yeah, it's like going out and buying a brand new truck and figuring out that it's 10 years old with 200,000 miles on it and you had no idea.
Super not cool.
I think that's one of those. So.
Anyway, sorry. Got a little heated there.
No, I know it. No, it's good. I like it when it gets you fired up, brother. It's good. So there's so many of these things out there, that you should be taking account of these big things. There's always going to be mistakes that happen. It's remodeling. It's doing projects. Stuff happens. It happens to the best of them. But really trying to stop these big things from happening are really where you need to do that research.
Yeah, again, just being aware, man, doing the research. Like I said, there's so many tools and resources out there. I mean, you could learn to be a heart surgeon on YouTube at this point. I mean, if you spend 2 hours on a Sunday afternoon going, here's whatever you're planning, dude, you will benefit 100-fold. And whether it's time, money, or agony, you will save on all fronts. Just do some math.
Some areas need a permit to put up a fence. Some people need it to put up a shed. Sometimes they need it for a deck. Sometimes if it's a low deck, you don't. There's a lot of things you should be taking a look at before you start these spring projects out there. Find out what they deal with it in your area.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like my old house, I looked at it. I was putting a fence up and I went, I'm going to look anyway. I know that I'm okay with a 6-foot fence. Then I went, I'm going to put it across the front. I can't put it. So I looked it up and I went, okay, is it going to be a 3-foot fence or a 4-foot fence? What are they going to force me to do it across the front? Because my house was far back. And they said, nope, my street, because it was a busier street, was exempt as long as I put the fence 10 feet back from the property line. I could go 6 feet. I was like, sweet. Like your house in Tacoma.
Right. Yep.
Well, except you just put that up and just said, come at me. Am I wrong?
I told you earlier,
am I wrong?
I may have broken a few rules along the way or not paid attention to them at the very least, and that's
sometimes.
I'm a contractor, man. Leave me alone. Just want to go fishing. Hang out with my dogs.
If somebody came by from city services and knocked on your gate and put up a sign that said, red tag, fix it, in 20 minutes, you'd have been out there with a snap line and a circular saw, and it would have been laying across the sidewalk.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but when I did restore that place from 1890, where I pulled a few of those little shenanigans, like the studio above the carriage house.
That was a great band room.
Do you remember Brad Dorman, the city building inspector that came to my housewarming party?
Yes, I do.
Enough said.
Yep. I get that. Speaking of that, I'm getting ready to get into a battle with the city of Cannon Beach out there at the beach.
That's good fun.
We'll have to talk about that on another one here because we're going to run out of time here in a minute. But they're telling me that since we're renting that out, that we legally can't have a fire pit now.
You know what? You told me this the other day, and I want to know what they define as a fire pit. I mean, what if you just don't make a pit? What if I just build a fire on the damn grass?
Go out there with a solo stove and throw it down, supposedly. But here's my thing. I think this is what I'm going to do. If I put a solo stove out there and some sticks and some hot dogs, to me, that's a cooking device. Whether or not to decide to have the hot dogs or not.
There's got to be better things to worry about than a freaking fire pit in Cannon Beach.
I know.
It's a beach.
But why does my neighbor who doesn't rent out get to have 4 fire pits in their front yard, but I can't have one because we might rent it out to somebody? That's what drives me crazy.
Why.
Yep.
Because people got to get paid, Eric.
Yep, absolutely. It's kind of like HOAs. This is just the city version, right?
And in Cannon Beach, jobs are a little sparse. So, you know, they may make a few things up that, create some additional work.
It's just going to cost me $1,000 fine experiment to see if that passes or not. So
or an $80 bottle of, $80 bottle of good whiskey.
$200 bottle of scotch could fix it too. You never know.
And a fishing story. Then you got the inspector showing up at your housewarming party.
Oh, we already had him show up at the housewarming party once, so that could happen. So
there you go.
That's how you do it. All right, Johnny. Great time on this hour today, brother. We got a great hour coming up. If you're listening on the radio or the podcast, just hit to the next one. Thanks for tuning around the house. We'll see you in the next one.
If you are a podcast listener, make sure you catch the 1900 back episodes in our catalog on your favorite podcast player. Now let's let Eric and John take you out with their song, Walk Away Girl. Thanks for tuning into the Around the House with Eric G show.
Hey, it's Eric G with Around the House. Are you looking to grow your business? Need a spokesperson for your company? Maybe an MC for an upcoming trade show? Or maybe you want to up your game and shoot some promotional videos? My team of experts would love to chat with you. Head to AroundTheHouseOnline.com and fill out the Contact Us form, and we'll set something up. Thanks for listening to Around the House.